Park, as much as it seems positive, has yielded less than desirable results. Finally, on the 99th game of the season, we can look up and see a return we've been waiting for the last several weeks. 64 days since his last appearance, Cliff Lee returns. The Phillies and their fans looking for a little boost tonight, and they're going to get it because Cliff Lee will make his return for the disabled list, and the Phillies will welcome in the top team in the National League West, the San Francisco Giants. It's game one of a four-game series. A lot of moves today for the Phillies. Not only is Lee activated from the DL, so is Will Nieves and Reed Brignac, and then Cesar Hernandez is going to Lehigh Valley. So is Coy Hill, and Tony Gwynn Jr. has been designated for assignment. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Jamie Moyer. We figured that the lefty will return tonight for the Phils, so we have our lefty returning tonight to talk about Cliff Lee and what his impact could be on the Phillies.
Well, I think Cliff is very excited to get going here after this 2-month layoff with the elbow strain, and it's going to be real exciting to see Cliff tonight and see how he's going to react to this. Cliff is at a different place in his career. He's never really had an arm injury, so it's going to be, there's a lot of questions that he has to fulfill for himself. But you can see here, in his last 9 starts, he's really thrown the ball well. He's eaten up a lot of innings. He's given up a few more hits, I'm sure, than he'd like, but walks are down, strikeouts are up. And what we're going to see here tonight is what we've seen all season. We're going to see a lot of quality pitches. He's going to be very aggressive. The tempo of the game is going to be upbeat, but he's going to try to get the Giants to swing at pitches that he wants them to swing at and not what they want to swing at.
And one thing we do know, since putting on a Phillies uniform in 2 different times with the Phils, he's been very good against the Giants.
He's been outstanding against the Giants. In 6 career starts, he's 5-0. He's got a sub-1 ERA at 0.88, and they have a 184 batting average. And Cliff, I remember his first start against the Giants in San Francisco was a phenomenal start, and I'm sure Cliff would like to kind of start his second half of his season in a phenomenal way here tonight.
And you saw that one note, no earned runs in 10 innings of work. That one outing, he was outstanding. He wound up going on the DL after that outing. Well, the San Francisco Giants, as we said, are the top team in the National League West. In fact, they're in a virtual tie with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Giants are 7-3 this year against the Dodgers, which is why they sit alongside them. The Dodgers have been playing better baseball lately, and the Giants are trying to play better baseball to get ahead of them. One guy that has stood out, he's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but he's former Phil, Hunter Pence.
Yeah, Hunter Pence brings a lot of character to this Giants ball club, but he brings a very uncharacteristic type of at-bats, the way he approaches pitchers, the way he swings the bat. He's a very difficult hitter to face because you really don't know what he's trying to do. And I really believe in facing him in the past. He's just up there slashing and hacking at the ball, but he's got a really good idea of what he's trying to do, and he's got power, he's got gap power, and he gets a lot of swinging bunts, too.
He's also gotten a lot of stolen bases since he went from the Phils to the San Francisco Giants. It is game one of this 4-game series. Ryan Vogelsong, who also spent some time in the Phillies organization, will make his 20th start against Cliff Lee, making his 11th start of the season. When we return, lineups and first pitch from Philadelphia. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. We're very creative in showing off their Italian heritage. Of course, we have some of the sons of Italy who are here at Citizens Bank Park. And then there are others who just got into a Fiat as part of Italian Heritage Night, brought to you by Fiat. I don't know if the Fanatic could get away with being in that car much longer. There's Cliff Lee. Got a great round of applause, as you would expect, when he came in from the bullpen and when he went out to the mound as the Phillies took the field behind him. And he is trying to get himself back on track. Let's take a look at the lineup he'll face tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in right field, Hunter Pence. Marco Scudero bats second, then Buster Posey and Pablo Sandoval. Michael Morse is in left field, he'll bat fifth. Adam Duvall is at first base. He's making his return from the minor leagues. And then the bottom third of Crawford, Blanco, and Ryan Vogelsong. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee. Lee comes into this ballgame, 10 starts, 4-4, an ERA of 3.18. If you don't remember, when we last saw Cliff Lee, we were basking in his limited amount of walks, which was just 9 in 68 innings. But as Jamie said during the open, you have to recall he was giving up some base runners with those base hits, 78 in 68 innings of work.
Yeah, he's given up far more hits than he normally does. But if you recall early in the season, a lot of 0-2 hits he gave up, where he was in command of the count. And I know I had talked to him about that, and he said, hey, I just want to stay aggressive. Sometimes I think you can be too aggressive in the strike zone. Yeah, I think at times you need to try to get hitters to chase pitches out of the strike zone, especially when, as a pitcher, you're ahead in the count.
All right, is it safe to say if his command is good, 6 innings is okay tonight for Cliff Lee?
Well, it's going to be really interesting if the Giants force him to throw a lot of pitches, and what I mean by throwing a lot of pitches, foul balls off. If he's not as sharp as he normally is, and he's just missing, it's going to force his pitch count up a little quicker than he'd like it to be.
All right, Hunter Pence will lead things off for the Giants. Pence hitting .299, and he takes the first pitch low, so we're underway. Pence was 5 for 13 in the most recent series against the Marlins. He has started all 99 games now for San Francisco. And Lee misses with the first 2, just a little low. It's 2-0. Off the end of the bat, out toward right center field. Here comes Bird diving, and he makes the catch. Divot it all one away here in the first. That's how strong Hunter Pence is. He broke his bat, but was still able to hit it on a line out toward right center field.
Well, and you got to love the effort there by Marlon Bird. I don't know if he got a real good jump, but he continued to stay after that. And I thought at one point, from our vantage point, he wasn't going to get there, but he stayed right with it. And last moment, he dove and made a nice catch.
One thing you could say about Marlon Bird, numbers aside, and he's had good numbers offensively, he has played hard this entire year.
He sure has.
Here's Marco Scudero, who missed a lot of the season with a lower back injury. Missed 93 games. So he's only 1 for 7 since coming back. Two balls and no strikes. So Cliff has fallen behind the first 2 hitters, 2-0. Well, I think you could say velocity's fine. It's at 90 right now with his fastball. Figure that'll get better as he gets more game time.
Well, and I think we're going to see, the same guy that we saw before he got hurt. But it's going to, the endurance is going to be the question, and his location, I think, are going to be the 2 big things for to keep an eye on in tonight's game.
Scudero 10 for 35 against Cliff Lee. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. No cutters yet, just fastballs and a changeup. Actually, 2 changeups. Popped him up. Right around home plate, Cameron Rupp. And do a little dance before he settled under to make the catch. 2 outs. All right, Jamie, it's time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ballgame.
I'm going to try to not keep these long-winded, but scoring first for the Phillies is important. The Giants are 15-33 when their opponent scores ahead of them, and they're 39-11 when they score first. And the second one is to nullify the Giants from hitting a home run tonight. When they don't hit a home run, they're 15-29.
And when they hit at least one home run, they're 39-15.
Well, they have 2 home runs here in the month of July. Ground ball to shortstop. Jimmy Rollins is there. Posey doesn't run all that well. Dug out by Howard. That's a 9-pitch first inning for Cliff Lee. That's a heck of a start. So he's back and in command. We'll go to the bottom of the first and see if the Phillies offense can answer. The Giants, game 1 of this 4-game series. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It's Sizemore, Rollins, and Utley, followed by Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd, and Dominic Brown. Bottom third of Cody Asche, Cameron Rupp, and Cliff Lee. And they will face 36-year-old right-hander. Boy, is he 36 already? Ryan Vogelsong, who is 5-7 on the year, a 3.86 earned run average, making his 20th start of the season.
Yeah, we're going to see a 4-pitch pitcher here tonight. Fastball, curveball, a cut fastball, and a changeup. You see predominantly throwing more curveballs this year than he has in the past. Usually he throws more cutters than curveballs. And his changeup is, it's a pitch that he utilizes, but his cutter is pretty much his out pitch.
Well, we mentioned that he was with the Phillies for a brief period of time back in 2010. He pitched in 27 games in Lehigh Valley, made 7 starts. And it was after that season that he went to San Francisco, the team that originally drafted him. And he had kind of a career renaissance. In fact, he made the All-Star team in 2011. He won 27 games for the Giants in 2011 and 12.
Well, here's a kid that's done it the hard way. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he went to Kutztown. Actually, I lockered beside him when he was here with the Phillies in spring training. A great kid. Really enjoyed being around him. But, to listen to his story, he's persevered through a lot. And going to Japan and getting kicked around a little bit in the minor leagues and kind of having a second career back with the Giants. I really tip my hat to him.
He's worked hard. There's no doubt about that. Grady Sizemore will lead it off. Sizemore so far has hit it 6 straight as a member of the Phils. His average in the National League is at .417. After hitting .216 with the Boston Red Sox. One ball and 1 strike.
Well, the memories I have of Grady Sizemore were from the American League when he was in Cleveland as a young player, and I always admired him as a young player because he played the game hard. He played the game right. He was an aggressive player. He never assumed anything, and in the outfield he was a very good player. And obviously he's had some injuries over the last couple years, but he's trying to find everything, and I think this is a great opportunity here in Philadelphia for him to get the second part of his career going.
This is his 7th start. He started 4 games in center, 3 games in left. 2 balls, 1 strike. Out toward left center field, playable for Michael Morse. Even though it was awkward, it was playable. And there's 1 out. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Robert Crawford of Wilmington. Phillies hit home run in today's ball game. Then Bob will win $100. So 1 out. Jimmy Rollins will be the batter. Rollins Marlins was 1 for 11 in the series against the Braves. The one was a game-winning home run. Jamie, it was not really a productive series against the Atlanta Braves.
Well, we've seen spurts of that during the course of the season, unfortunately. And again, it's the Phillies just trying to find their way. In some way, somehow, is to try to find their way.
Well, they begin play tonight 43 and 55. And Ryan Sandberg has continued the same message from the first half into the second half. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Rollins. Swing and a miss, 0-2. That number right there on the right underneath the scorebug, 19 and 29 here at Citizens Bank Park. Even though you know it, it's still surprising when you see it. Last year, Vogelsong was 4-6 for the Giants. He made just 19 starts. Got a foul ball. Rollins remains alive. It's 1-2. Just as Jamie mentioned, you can look at the numbers on the speed gun. He's not going to overpower you with a lot of stuff.
No, he's going to pick. He's going to nibble, and then he's going to, especially if he starts using his breaking stuff, he's going to try to spot his fastball. And that's where Ryan Vogelsong is very effective.
Off the end of the bat, that one's pulled to the right side. Scudero makes the play. Vogelsong was late to get over, and Rollins has a base hit.
There's a great example of a pitcher who didn't get off the mound. He hesitated just briefly, and with a guy, even with Jimmy's speed, he was able to beat him right down the line. When that ball, as a pitcher, you can see here, he hesitates and he doesn't get off the mound. But when that ball, when you're pitching, that ball is hit to your left, it's got to be an instinctual thing that you got to move immediately. And I'm not sure that he thought the ball was going to get, was going to go for that ball. But you can't assume anything. You have to at least make 3 hard steps to the bag.
Yeah, Vogelsong kind of reacted as if to say to Scudero, why didn't you throw it? Even if he threw it, I don't think there was any chance they were going to get him. Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1 because Rollins had recognized it and he was speeding up the first base line. Utley hitting .286. He has 8 homers and 46 runs batted in. He was 1 for 12 against the Braves, so now he's 1 for his last 15. His one hit was a double. He also had a double in the All-Star game.
And it's mistakes like that, those mental mistakes that you make as a pitcher or even as a position player. It can be a big difference in an inning. And hopefully the Phillies can take advantage of that. Again, that's what this Phillies team is going to have to do to get themselves moving forward.
Ground ball right side. It's a right field, a base hit. Pence has got a good arm. Rollins is going to stop at second. The Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 man down here in the bottom of the first. When we take a look at our Mazda leaders, and both teams are struggling here in the month of July. Phillies at 217, the Giants at 225. We mentioned the Giants' home run total. Giants have only hit 6 home runs in the month of July.
And I hate to belittle the All-Star break, but I think the All-Star break can sometimes really put a damper on a club, especially if they carry some momentum into the break. They have to be able to carry that same momentum out of the break, and sometimes it's very difficult to do.
Ryan Howard swings at the first pitch, towering fly ball to left center field. Gregor Blanco is back to make the catch. Both runners tag. And the Phillies will have second and third with 2 men down. And Ryan Howard just missed his 16th home run of the year. Ball actually carried more than I thought it would once it left the bat.
It was up there a long time. The wind's kind of blowing out to right field, but the ball was kind of tailing towards the left center field gap. And you're right, Tom. That ball did carry a long distance. think it caught. Ryan didn't quite get his arms extended. If he was a tick or two sooner right there, I think he may have driven that ball out of the ballpark.
And also just watching Blanco kind of make his trek out toward it. He started to his right and then had to float back as the ball carried. Well, that'll bring Marlon Byrd to the plate. Byrd has 55 runs batted in this year. He had 4 hits against the Braves this past weekend in Atlanta. Trying to give the Phils an early lead.
And I think this is where Marlon's been so key with the Phillies this year. He's been in this situation many, many times with guys in scoring position and 2 outs. And when he's been able to drive these runs in, it's really made a big difference in the offense.
Well, this would be a huge boost. Although the Phillies did score first a couple times against the Braves, this would be a huge boost for them, particularly with Lee on the mound. Inside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. See Marlins numbers with runners in scoring position over the last 6 weeks. A little bit of a drought. Two balls and 2 strikes now to Marlon Byrd.
Here again, I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think right now when Vogelsong needs to make a money pitch, and that kind of wasn't 3-2 right there, but he needed to get back in the count. He located a good fastball that had a little bit of run to it inside to Marlon Byrd.
Now a quick conversation between Posey and Vogelsong to make sure they're on the right page with this next pitch.
Well, and here's a situation you'd rather not go 3-2. If you have to, I guess it's okay, but I think Vogelsong would like to get some action right here. Although he's got a lefty and Dominic Brown in the hole. We'll see what he wants to do here. High fastball.
And it's just a bit high. He thought it was there for a strike. It's 3-2. So Dominic Brown waits on deck with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Out of play. Great catch by a youngster in the first row of the Hall of Fame club. Here we go.
2 hands?
I'll tell you in a second.
No.
No, 1.
Bare hand.
He used the other hand to hold on.
Very nice.
It was a great grab. Ground ball toward third. Sandoval has it. And he double pumps, throws to first in time, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left in scoring position. We'll go to the second inning here in Philadelphia in a scoreless game. Series, 7:05 start. The series wraps up on Thursday at 1:05. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Good seats are still available for all 3 games left to play against the Giants by going to Phillies.com. Pablo Sandoval will lead it off for the Giants as we go to the second. Takes outside. So a 9-pitch first inning for Cliff Lee. Fell behind 2 hitters, 2 balls and no strikes. Broken bat, and that's a floater out toward left field, a base hit. And Sandoval's aboard. Well, he's broken 2 bats so far tonight.
Well, I don't think he fooled him. I think he fooled him with the speed, but he didn't fool him with the location. He did get him out, Pablo out in front, but he stayed back. He kept his hands back long enough to make some contact.
Well, that'll bring Mike Morse to the plate. Morse has 14 home runs and 47 runs batted in for the Giants. I don't know, it seemed like he always hit the Phillies well when he played for the Washington Nationals. Ground ball right side. Howard got a late start. It'll trickle into right field. And now runners on first and second on 2 softly hit baseballs and I think 2 broken bats.
Yeah, I don't think Cliff would, if you're able to stop the game right now and ask him how he feels his location is, he probably would say that's where he's lacking right now. He's been behind in several counts. Now he tries to get ahead early in a count and he gives up a hit. So again, I don't think his tempo was there, but not everything is where he wants it to be. That's a good fastball down. Mike Morse hits it off the end of the bat. They really haven't squared him up.
No.
Except for the kind of humpback liner that Pence hit to Marlon Burden for the first out in the first inning.
Here's Duvall, who was leading the Pacific Coast League at home runs with 26 and RBIs with 79. Just called back up today. Brandon Belt was put on the disabled list with concussion-like symptoms. 1 ball and no strikes to Duvall. Former 11th round pick out of Louisville back in 2010. It's that foul past Tim Flannery in the third base coach's box. It's 1-1. The Phillies and Giants fans have themselves some hair issues. I can say that, Jim.
They're enjoying the smell of the leather.
Yeah. I've seen people do that with the glove, not with the ball.
Yeah, I've seen it happen, but I don't really believe it. I think they're just excited to get the ball.
I think the kid who got the ball just put it up and smelled it himself.
He's got a story for him.
Yeah, he does.
When I was a kid.
2 balls and 1 strike to Duvall. On the inside corner, 2-2.
And that's the fun thing about baseball. You can come to the ballpark and I guarantee those are total strangers down there and they're sharing baseball experiences. And that's what you do at the ballpark. Look at them. They're still going.
He still has a story to tell.
Hey, buddy, there's a game going on. But that's what's so unique about baseball.
Swing and a miss and a changeup. That's a great pitch right there by Cliff Lee. Now there's 1 away. Let's take a look at tonight's current weather conditions, brought to you by Oliver Heating and Cooling. Visit oliverheatcool.com. 84 degrees. It is mostly cloudy, sunny for most of the day. Then around 3 o'clock or so, it started to cloud up some. But pretty comfortable right now.
Beautiful weather for baseball tonight. I'll tell you that. If you're not watching on TV, maybe you're listening to it on the radio, sitting in the backyard at the picnic table.
Yeah, this summer is flying by, even with the struggles the Phils have had. First pitch to Brandon Crawford is outside. It's 1-0.
Surprising, Brandon Crawford hits left-handers at a .322 clip. When I saw that stat earlier today, I was really surprised at that. And he also has 8 triples, which is quite a bit for a guy that doesn't have blazing speed. Although in San Francisco, there's a lot of nooks and crannies.
That is true. Particularly if he could pull a ball out toward, what is it called, the Triples Alley? Out in right
center
field?
Something no, that's where the home runs go.
Covey Cove is the Cove.
I've given some souvenirs out there.
At the knees, 2-1. Crawford's numbers with runners in scoring position, pretty good, 271. That's one of the first cutters he's thrown tonight. I know he's thrown one other one, but that one was pretty wicked. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That one looked like it had a lot of depth to it. Real good pitch after Crawford saw 3 fastballs. Now he saw a pitch that looked like a fastball, but as it got to the plate, it broke like a cutter. And that's why Cliff got the result that he got.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Crawford. In the dirt, got between the 5-hole of Cameron Rupp, and the runners move up. It's a wild pitch.
That's unfortunate because now he takes the double play away. And here's a ball that you've got to get down. I mean, you got 2 strikes. As a catcher, you got to. They teach you got to expect the ball in the dirt. You cannot let that ball get by. And I guarantee you, he's quite upset with himself for letting that happen.
Well, now the Phillies will play the infield in with the count 3-2. Gregor Blanco's on deck, and the payoff pitch on the outside corner, and a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lee. 2 outs.
I'll give Cliff a lot of credit for making that pitch right there. He stayed away that whole at bat. Every pitch was away, and now he spots a fastball down and away and freezes Crawford, who's a pretty good hitter. And Cameron Rupp frames that ball very well for Bill Miller to see.
Well, now he can get through this inning by getting Gregor Blanco, who, since Angel Pagan has gone down with an injury, Blanco has started 26 of the last 29 games for the Giants at center field. Former Atlanta Brave, and he pulls that one into right field, a base hit. A pitch that was left up in the zone. 1 run is in. The 2nd run coming in. The throw to the plate on 1 hop, and Cameron Rupp tags him after he twirls him over. And the side is retired. Tim Flannery saying that he blocked the plate, and Morse had nowhere to go except over him. They're going to hold the defense for a moment. Bruce Bochy's going to come out. I think that's one where the throw took him into the baseline, and that's why he had to go get it the way he did, and that's why the path was cut off for Michael Morse. That was a heck of a play by Cameron Rupp. See, right there, he's got a path on the backside. As the ball comes in on 1 hop, Morse isn't anywhere in the picture. Yeah, I don't think he's blocking the plate. I think that's a clean play. So the tag will be made. They're going to review it, but I think this is going to hold up on the basis of the rule, which is that Cameron Rupp has to allow a lane for the base runner, and prior to the ball arriving near home plate, he did provide a lane, because as he grabbed it, that's when he went across the baseline. Watch where his left foot is. He doesn't have the ball yet. It's still on the white line, so he's got what they would call a path on the backside. Now he doesn't need to give him a path. He flips him over. He missed the plate on the flip, and that's why Rupp was able to apply the tag. So we haven't seen one of these in a while. Jamie, look at Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee is sitting in front of the dugout. Now he just stands up. I think Cameron Rupp did everything right. I think this one is going to stand.
I think his momentum took him.
The last moment, yeah.
The ball came up on him. It didn't stay down. It came up, and it kind of caught him in the belly or up in the sternum. And I don't think he had it trapped against his body. You see here, he kind of comes up.
And look where his foot is. His foot is still out above the baseline.
And then he was going to, I don't think he was sure where the runner was. He was going to try to get himself in place to make a tag. and his momentum carried him well beyond. Surprised Mike Morse wasn't able to touch home plate.
Yeah, as he did that twirl over the pack of Cameron Rupp. Yeah, I think this one will stand, and the Phillies will be down 1-0, but the out will be recorded at home plate. And he is out. Yep. I think that's the right call. So a base hit for Blanco. He gets an RBI single. The Giants take a 1-0 lead. Marlon Byrd picks up his 4th outfield assist of the season. So 1 run on 3 hits and 1 man left, and a pretty good play by Cameron Rupp to stop there for being a 2nd run. On all your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app today. On a gorgeous night for baseball, the Phillies trail at 1-0. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd. It'll be Dominic Brown, Cody Ashe, and Cameron Rupp. Mike Morse tried to score from 2nd base on the soft base hit by Gregor Blanco, but was thrown out by Marlon Byrd on a fine play by Cameron Rupp, Phillies' young catcher. Dominic takes a strike. It's 0-1. Dominic Brown's hit 5 straight. He was 3 for 8 in the series against the Braves. Overall batting .231 with 6 homers and 46 runs batted in. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, he tried to go to the same area, just nudged it off the plate a little bit.
Almost looks like a backdoor cutter that didn't cut.
And a line drive towards center field. Blanco coming on. He makes the diving attempt and he reels it in. 1 away here in the 2nd. And that'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate. Well, it was a busy day here at the ballpark. We mentioned before the Phillies obviously activated Cliff Lee. They also activated Reed Brignac, who's off the DL with that high ankle sprain, and Will Nieves, who's back off the disabled list and is available tonight. Cesar Hernandez and Coy Hill both are going to Lehigh Valley. Meanwhile, Tony Gwynn Jr. has been designated for assignment. Cody Ashe takes outside. It's 1-0. And well, Murph, it'll be interesting to see what Tony Gwynn Jr. decides, because that is a veteran bat that, you know, another team possibly could use.
Yeah, you know, and what it means for Tony Gwynn is it'll be the next 10 days. There'll be decision making for people around the league. He's going to have to clear waivers, and you know, the Phillies still kind of control him. They could trade him at this point, as you point out, and someone might try to jump on him. But what the Phillies are hoping is that he'll stay within the organization, and after those 10 days, he'll clear waivers and go down to AAA, and they can keep him in the organization, which would also provide some depth for the outfield situation. Tony Gwynn, we all know, is a terrific guy in the clubhouse, and they certainly would like to see him remain a part of the Phillies organization if that is possible. But the three guys that are activated today, as you mentioned, are watching Cliff Lee pitch right now. Certainly good news. And Ryan Sandberg talked today about Will Nieves being back. It was such a strange situation for both starting catchers to be off the roster. Carlos Ruiz dealing with the concussion and Will Nieves. So good to have one of those guys back. And, they like Coy Hill and the job that he did as well. So he'll go down to AAA. And, again, always good to have that kind of depth down at that level, guys.
Yeah, the Phillies did say that they wanted to somehow keep Coy Hill in the organization. As that pitch is outside, it's 3-2. Carlos Ruiz, Ryan Sandberg said, should be able to come off the concussion disabled list at some point later on this week. 3-2 pitch to Ashe. And that one is floated out toward left center, and Crawford won't get it. That was a spinning shot. A one-out single, and that'll bring Cameron Rupp to the plate.
That was a high changeup that kind of tied Cody up, but with the lack of speed, he was able to get a big enough part of the bat on it just to fist it out over Crawford's head at shortstop.
Well, now Cameron Rupp hitting 188, no homers and 6 runs batted in. First pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Opposite way, a base hit. The Phillies have had a couple of base runners in each inning now against Vogelsong. And they'll have 2 on with 1 out. Cliff Lee coming up. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. I know he wants to hit, but is he going to sacrifice here, you think?
Definitely should be sacrificed.
The quarters pinch in just a little bit. Now Sandoval's in more at third. Lee squares, bunts at it. Pulled the bat back according to the third base umpire. Marcus Patillo is over at third base tonight. And he bunts it toward third, and it rolls foul. Bill Miller is the crew chief. He's behind the plate. Chad Fairchild at first. Vic Carapazza is at second. And Marcus Patillo over at third. And that one's bunted to the left of the mound. Vogelsong throws to third. It's high, and Ashe's safe it for third base. I think he got a little greedy there, thinking he had a play, a force play, and he would have gotten Ashe. I think if the throw was clean, he still wouldn't have gotten Cody Ashe.
No, he would not have. I think he had his mind made up. And you're in that situation, you've got to get an out. You've got to get an out. You'd rather have second and third, 1 out, than bases loaded and no outs. Yeah, he committed. His body was not in good position. It might have been the only place he had to go.
Yeah, because Lee does run well. All right, now Grady Sizemore is up with the bases loaded. It's a sacrifice fielder's choice, the first sack of the year for Cliff Lee. Sizemore flied out to left his first time up. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
This is one of those situations that I have mentioned numerous times this year. When you put the ball in play, a lot of things can happen. You're forcing the defense to make a play, and you're putting the pressure on them, and it worked out to the Phillies' advantage at this point.
Second, I guess you could say, mistake, as that pitch is there for a strike to Sizemore that the Giants have made, that Vogelsong has made. But he didn't cover first in the first inning. The decision there. Although, as you said, Jamie, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was the only play he had.
I think just because of the position he put his body in,
yeah,
it was the only play he had.
No balls, 2 strikes to Sizemore. Swing and a miss, and they're 2 outs. And the bases now remain loaded for Jimmy Rollins.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a real good at bat by Grady Sizemore. He got behind early in that count, and then saw a cutter that I don't think he liked, and then he chased a high fastball. And there's a big difference when you're ahead in the count versus behind in the count.
Well, now they'll lean on Jimmy Rollins to try to get this run home. Phillies left 2 in the first inning. They've got the bases loaded here.
And that's a big strikeout for Vogelsong, because now if he gets a ground ball anywhere hit firmly towards one of his infielders, they've got a chance to turn a double play. Excuse me, there are 2 outs.
But you're right, though. They got a chance to get an
well, they
out
got
at any
the force
base.
anywhere.
Yep. Yeah. 0-1 to Jimmy Rollins.
And right there, he was aggressive with the changeup. You don't have to necessarily start a hitter off with a fastball all the time, especially with a guy like Jimmy Rollins, who you're not sure is going to be taking or being real aggressive on that first pitch.
Slow and slower in these first 2 pitches, and it's 0-2.
Now, as a hitter, you're saying, will he throw me another one? And if you're in between and he throws you a fastball, probably the best thing you can do is only foul it off.
Yeah.
So you've got to commit one way or the other, or go into that 2-strike swing or 2-strike mode and just looking to make contact and use a big part of the field. And we've seen where Vogelsong has been, where he's been ahead in the count, he likes to go to that high fastball. So far today.
He's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Rollins with the bases loaded. I guess that's kind of fouling it off. That ball really tied him up inside.
Almost felt like Jimmy was looking for something soft away.
Rollins reached on an infield hit his last time up. Trying to tie this ball game up. It's a 1-0 Giants lead. First run the Giants have scored while Vogelsong's out on the mound in the last 5 games. Opposite way, and a base hit into left field. 1 run is in, rounding third and lumbering home is Rupp. He'll score. It's a 2-1 ball game. That's a nice piece of hitting right there by Jimmy Rollins. He's 2 for 2.
You go back to that misplayed bunt, and that's what extends the inning here for the Phillies.
And they capitalize.
Yes, they do. Throws looked like a cutter that backed up, and it was up out over the plate. Jimmy again, it looked like he really tried to shorten up with 2 strikes and use the middle part of the diamond. Even with Pablo Sandoval was playing way over in the hole, trying to take that hole away. Jimmy was able to push it through there.
Well, now runners on first and second, 2 runs in. Chase Utley is the hitter. Utley 2 for his last 16, hits one off the end of the bat toward right center field. Hunter Pence is there. And the side is retired. But the Phils do take the lead. A bases loaded single by Jimmy Rollins. We go to the third. It's the Phillies 2, the Giants 1. For all the information, please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Jamie, the question is, which Giants coach was named to the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame in February of 2010?
Is he a current coach?
He's a current coach, yes. So you're going to run through all the coaches and see who's Italian and who's not?
I know who it is. I don't have to.
Well, the answer will be revealed in just a little bit. Phillies lead it 2-1. Then Ryan Vogelsong will lead it up. Well, earlier today, I don't know if you remember, Jamie, but back a few weeks ago, we were out in center field. You remember that? We were broadcasting the game.
I do.
Well, there's Jordan Bondrowski. So we caught the ball out in center field. I threw it back.
You.
I caught the ball, threw it back. And one of the ball girls was nice enough to give it to Jordan, and Jordan was nice enough to give it back to me today.
That's awesome.
Got a chance to meet her family. Mom and Dad were here, and there's the baseball, and that is going to be something I'm going to cherish for a long time. I'm glad to have it back now. Jordan has been great, and so have the folks at 94 WIP, particularly in the morning show. There's the Bondrowski family. Angelo Cataldi, the host of the morning show on WIP, said that he would pay $500 if somebody came forward with the baseball. Well, Jordan was nice enough to come forward because she had the ball, and Angelo brought her into the studio. It was a great segment. I called in. Governor Ed Rendell was on that day as well, as Vogelsong loops one out to right, and that's a base hit. Anyway, it turned out to be a great experience. I know for me, for you, for everybody involved, being out there in center field. Here's Freddie Freeman, who was the one that hit the ball.
Oh my. Be calm. Oh yeah. That's a can of corn.
It was awesome. And then to throw it back there, and then the ball was given to Jordan. Anyway, we can't thank the folks at 94 WIP for all of their assistance in this and their help in this. And Angelo and Rhea Hughes and Sidney Webster and Al Morganti, as that ball is hit toward third, past the diving Cody Ashe and into left field. So that'll put runners on first and second. But we gave Jordan a Chase Utley autographed baseball. She's a huge Chase Utley fan. We gave her own jersey, number 26, of course.
Nice.
And we gave her an autographed baseball that all of us autographed as well.
I didn't realize all that went on behind the scenes. That's pretty cool. That's a great story.
And by the way, Jordan was going to donate all of the money to charity as well that she received. So here's Marco Scutaro. So now runners on first and second. Anyway, the good folks here at Citizens Bank Park, the Jordan and her family, got a chance to be down at the Diamond Club tonight. It was just a great night all the way around. And they're getting a chance to enjoy a ball game. That ball was bunted fair. It went foul, came back fair. So the sacrifice is successful. And that'll put runners on second and third.
Again, you see what a sac bunt can do. The Phillies defensively executed that play very well. But you see what that can do. Now moves 2 runners into scoring position. And you get Buster Posey and Pablo Sandoval opportunities to drive in runs.
Well, here's Buster Posey, grounded out in his first time up. This time Rupp's able to block that one. It's 1-0. Posey 50 runs batted in. You see that he's just below the National League average with less than 2 outs. One ball and 1 strike. By the way, those photos that we had just shown were taken by our director, Nick Marquetta, who's not only an outstanding director, but he can also take a photograph with the best of them.
I've seen some pretty good photos that he's taken on Twitter, too.
Oh, yeah. Outside, it's 2-1. It is Italian Heritage Night, so we have to mention Nick as much as we can. Mix in a little Greg Farnese from time to time. We got it all covered.
That's my buddy out in left field, isn't it, Greg? Huh?
Working that camera out in left field.
Buddy. Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike to Posey. And a line drive foul. It's 2-2.
It's my tutor.
That poor guy, he had it. It fell out of his hand, but it went into the rightful hand of that youngster right there. Two balls, 2 strikes to Buster Posey. And a looper out towards center field. That'll drop for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Pence. He's going to score. And it's now a 3-2 ball game. So a 2-run single for Buster Posey. Ryan Vogelsong, we mentioned, has not gotten a whole lot of run support in his last 4 starts, but he's gotten 3 runs here tonight, and he's helping the cause.
And again, you see how important that sac bunt is. It puts guys in scoring position. And Buster Posey doesn't get a whole lot of the bat on that cutter down and in, but he gets enough of it on it to loop it out into shallow center field to allow 2 runs to score.
Boy, Hunter Pence is always moving, isn't he?
He's an exciting player. Not flashy, but exciting.
Oof. I know when he was here at Philadelphia, he was great to have. No balls and 1 strike to Sandoval.
He brings a lot of energy, and he always seems to be smiling. And why not?
Plus, as we told you, he's playing a lot, too. What's up with that beard?
I don't know. It's the baseball thing.
Yeah. I thought it was a hockey thing. Out of play, and it remains 0-2.
Here's where Cliff early in the season. There's another guy with it.
Well, maybe it is a baseball thing.
Yeah. Here's a situation where Cliff, on numerous occasions early in the season, got himself into trouble with his 0-2 pitch, and right there, that last 0-2 pitch, Sandoval got a pretty good hack at that and fouled it straight back.
Out toward left center field. Sizemore will float under it. And he makes the catch. So 2 outs. And that'll bring Michael Morse to the plate. All right, 6 hits so far for the Giants. Some have been hit hard, others have not been hit hard. This is all part of the the bounce back for Cliff Lee. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, when you've missed 2 months, getting back on the field at game speed, with adrenaline going. I mean, there's things that it's hard to replace. You can find some of that in the minor leagues. It's hard to find that in a rehab, or excuse me, in a simulated game. There's nothing like being in a major league game, and Cliff has passed all the hurdles to get to this point, and right now, the Phillies are going to find out where he stands.
Out of play, and it is now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I would honestly say, from what I've seen so far, his velocity's there, his location is not.
And that's to be expected, I would think.
I think it's to be for a 2-month layoff. Yeah, I would say so. And he had 3 rehab starts.
Yeah, 3 rehab starts. He was 0-1 with a 5.06 ERA during those starts. In the dirt, Rupp has it. Going to second is Posey. The throw on 1 hop, handled by Chase Utley. And the side is retired. Nice job by Cameron Rupp, and even better job by Chase Utley to pick that one to nail Buster Posey. 2-run score for the Giants, middle of the 3rd. Phillies down by 1. Call 1-800-JEF now for an appointment. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Bottom of the 3rd. Giants 3, Phillies 2. Mentioned that the Giants had not scored runs while Ryan Vogelsong had been out on the mound over his last 4 starts. In fact, even when he left games, they only scored 1 run over his last 4 starts for him. I mean, they've been shut out his last 3. 2-0, 5-0, 2-0. And he's only allowed 7 earned runs during that time.
And you see it happens. It's not just happening here in Philly. It happens throughout baseball. And, you hate to be that guy if you're the pitcher, but it happens and you have to deal with it. It's part of the game.
Ryan Howard is swinging a miss on the first changeup, and it's 0-1. It does seem like it's a conversation that many teams are having around baseball, just about offense and the fact that some avenues of Major League Baseball offense is down. That one is lined it to right center, a base hit. Ryan Howard fought that one off. Well, I guess the lack of offense, Murph, is one of the reasons why the Dodgers have caught the Giants, and it's a race again in the National League West.
Yeah, for a while there, it looked like San Francisco was going to run away with things. They are 10 games over 500 right now and tied for first place with the Dodgers, Tom, as you mentioned, in the NL West. But early in the season, it was a huge lead that they had. They started out 42-21. You see the numbers there. Batting average for the team, 248. The ERA at 3.07. But since June the 8th, 12-23. They have really struggled in scoring runs. Their team ERA also up around 4. So things had gone in the wrong direction. Now they have kind of righted the ship of late. They've won 7 of their last 12, and they seem to be getting things right. But it is going to be a battle down to the end now at this point in the NL West, when it looked like early on the Giants might run away with things.
Yeah, the Dodgers have played very good baseball, obviously. You know, they seemingly have gotten healthy in some sections, but then they've also suffered some injuries as well.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race in the National League West, and I have a strong sense that the Dodgers are going to be making some moves here as we get to the end of this month to shore up whether it be their starting pitching or their offense.
9 games left against the Dodgers. The Giants are 7-3 so far against them, but 9 games left against the Dodgers.
And Jamie, I think that the Giants are going to be right there with the Dodgers in terms of making moves. I was talking to a couple of people today that have some of inside knowledge with the Giants, and they think that they expect to have a couple of moves made by the end of the deadline at the end of this month. So it'll be interesting to watch, certainly what the Giants do, what the Dodgers do, and as they try to battle each other for that NL West.
Murph, were you doing some investigative reporting or something?
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody. That's the extent of the work I was doing today, Tom.
All right.
Well, that's what makes this July 31st deadline so fun to be a part of, especially as a fan, because you're hoping that your club is either going to add by subtracting, or if you're in a potential race, that you're going to be adding something to put your club over the hump.
There's Dominic Brown with runners on first and second.
And then if you do add, you got 2 months with your new player or players to try to mesh together to create that winning environment.
That's off the end of the bat. Infield fly roll is going to be called. Crawford makes the catch, 1 away. Well, the Giants' record by month, 17-11 to start, and then 19-9. They didn't, slow up at all in the month of May. Then they started slowing up in June. The June swoon. And then here in July, an even 508-8. Bruce Bochy, he's been around a long time, first with the Padres, then with the Giants. Been able to win a world championship or 2, I should say.
He's done a great job, not only with the Giants here, but with the Padres when he was with the Padres. Had a lot of successful ball clubs in San Diego.
But if you're Bud Selig and you look at the American League races and you see that there's some tight races, and then look at the National League, and then see in the East, Washington and Atlanta, virtual tie. In the Central, Milwaukee, St. Louis, they are tied. And then Pittsburgh's a 1.5 back, and Cincinnati's 2.5 back. And then in the West, you have San Francisco and Los Angeles virtually tied. I mean, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot more that will be going on in the National League before the end of the year.
Well, and then you got the wild card to throw in there too,
right? Ashe lines one back through the middle of base hit. Howard will be held at third. Not much more he could do than what he did right there. So the bases are loaded, and Cameron Rupp is coming up.
And that's smart hitting right there, I believe, by Cody Ashe. His previous at bat, he got a changeup. It wasn't a good changeup, but I think he got him off, got Vogelsong off that changeup, and forced him to start him off with a fastball. And I think he went up there looking for a fastball, and he lined it right back through the box. And had a good part of the outer third of the plate slightly elevated. Again, not trying to do a whole lot with it. Hit it back through the middle and hit it hard. Nice at bat. As Matt always says, keep the line moving, right?
Well, they'd love to keep the line moving to the pitcher's spot, because that would mean a run would score if Rupp can get a base hit here, or even a sac fly to tie it up. Tough first pitch. He takes it, which is the right thing to do. It's 0-1. You got Howard over at third. You hit a sac fly, you're going to have to hit it a little deeper than you would normally do. The best arm is in right field. That's Hunter Pence.
Back-to-back curveballs. It's the first time we've seen that tonight from Vogelsong. He's trying to get Cameron. He had him 0-1, trying to get him to chase another breaking ball. That ball was too far off the plate. Good chance he's going to get something hard in here, or a cutter away.
Fastball on the inside part of the plate, 1-2.
That fastball in right there looks like it's about 98 after two curveballs that are 77, 78 miles an hour away. And that's pitching. Moving the ball around, changing speeds, changing eye levels, hard, soft, or soft. You know, in this case, it was soft, soft, hard. That's what you do as a pitcher.
That one was in a little too tight. It's 2-2.
Now it's something soft. Although, previous, 2 innings, we've seen high fastballs in this situation. He just threw 2 fastballs. Let's see what he wants to do here.
A breaking ball and a call, strike 3.
That's the best curveball he's thrown all night, right there.
I think Cap thought it was low. Definitely on the plate.
And you have to tip your hat to the pitcher right there. Unfortunately, that was a good pitch.
So Rupp is struck out. Here's Cliff Lee. Lee sacrificed his last time up. Breaking ball, 0-1.
It seems like he's found his curveball here this inning.
One thing's for sure, the Phillies are going to be in the Giants bullpen earlier than the Giants would like. That was the 60th pitch of the night for Vogelsong. Curveball outside. See the breakdown, 40 strikes, 21 balls. Outside, 3-1. Sometimes you try to creep it to the mind of a hitter here. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. I would think if Cliff gets a pitch he likes, he's going to try to drive it. Some people might think, well, could he take another one? He does, and it's 3-2. Runners will be off.
That's the right thing to do. Take one.
See if he walks him.
You're forcing him to throw 2 strikes. And he's trying to get you to swing at something you don't want to swing at.
Runners go. Swing and a miss. He went after ball 4, and he knows it. And the side is retired. Vogelsong gets back-to-back strikeouts, and the Phillies leave him loaded. So the Phillies have left some base runners through the first 3. They trail it by 1 as we go to the 4th. through the first 3 innings. They've left 7 so far. So they definitely have been able to make Vogelsong work, but they just have the 2 runs. They trail it by 1. They have 8 hits already through 3 innings. Cliff Lee just went down on strikes. He looks like he's still disgusted with himself that he swung at that 3-2 pitch, which was out of the strike zone. So he'll work against Michael Morse, Adam Duvall, and Brandon Crawford for the San Francisco Giants.
Well, just like a position player, you got to let it go, and you got to go out and pitch. You can't let it permeate. You know, right here is where he's got to step back off the mound. A lot of times for me, if I had something on my mind, I would call timeout, kneel down, take my glove off, untie my shoe, let those thoughts kind of bang around inside my head. But when I tied that bow, it was now refocus on the task at hand, and that's strike 1.
He does. You can just see his body language. He does look disappointed with himself. Well, here's Morse, who reached on a broken bat single to the right side his first time up. The first pitch is outside. It's 1-0.
You see a lot of young kids that's one thing that they have to learn when they're playing the game. You have to, you know, things that have happened, you learn from them and you move forward. As long as you can learn from it, it's to me, it's a good experience. But when you make a mistake and then you make another mistake and another mistake and another mistake, now it multiplies and snowballs in a negative direction for you.
Curveball outside, 2-1. Morse has hit in 11 of his last 13. He had a very productive first couple months of the season for the Giants. It was a good pickup. Giants picked him up after the Nationals had traded him to the Seattle Mariners. And I do believe that the home plate umpire Bill Miller is hearing it from the Phillies dugout. And there's ball 4. So Morse draws a walk. WB Mason has everything to keep your office running smoothly, like Swing Line's Fusion Laminators. A super fast, super easy way to laminate and protect your best work. Order yours today from who but WB Mason.
See, I don't think Cliff Lee is ready to pitch right there. Net at bat to Mike Morse. I mean, he's ready to pitch physically, but not mentally.
And that's because of the strikeout, or
I think it's still lingering. Yep. Now you get yourself into a little bit of a bind. It's a leadoff walk, and we know the percentages are very high in giving up runs, but it's now just forcing him to have to work a little harder when he really didn't need to.
No balls, 1 strike to Duvall. Just inside, 1-1. Duvall had 99 home runs while in the minor leagues for the San Francisco Giants. And he lines that one sharply just past Jimmy Rollins for a base hit. And the first 2 are aboard here in the 4th. This weekend, the Phillies will entertain the Arizona Diamondbacks, a 3-game series. Friday is a 7:05 first pitch. It's Christmas in July. The Phillies ball girls will be collecting new unwrapped toys for donation to PAL, plus the DuPont Hospital for Children and Valley Youth House. So bring those gifts to the ballpark when you come out and see the Phils take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies ball girls will be at each of the exits and the entrances here at Citizens Bank Park. Sunday is the Cole Hamels t-shirt that'll be given out thanks to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. First 2 are on. Brandon Crawford struck out his first time up. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 15 hits combined for the two teams. All 15 hits have been singles. Popped him up. Foul territory. Rupp and Ashe. Ashe makes the call. You can hear him. He made sure Rupp could hear him on that. And there's one out here in the fourth. And Gregor Blanco, who has an RBI single, will be the batter for the Giants.
Here's a situation. Blanco last time up with the bases loaded. Came up and is it bases loaded? Yeah, bases loaded. No, 2-1. Excuse me. And took that first pitch into right field. That's when they threw out Mike Morse at home plate. Probably thinking the best pitch he's going to see is going to be early in the count, and he didn't want to get behind in the count.
Yeah, Lee kind of left it up in the zone.
I mean, he's a 227 hitter for the year. Actually, a little bit higher than that after that first hit. But hitting 263 versus left-handed pitching.
Just a bit outside with a cutter, and it's no 1 ball and no strikes.
I think you take that from your 8-hole hitter. This guy's a nice little player. I always thought he was a pretty good player when he was in Atlanta. I just didn't think he got a chance to play that much.
Certainly has played well defensively for the Giants.
Again, nothing flashy, but just he's a very consistent player.
2 balls, no strikes. Runners on first and second.
And you look at a lot of teams, they usually have 1 or 2 of these types of players on their team.
That one's pulled through the hole on the right side, of base hit. Morse around third. He'll be held there. So now the bases are loaded. And the pitcher's spot is due up here in the 4th inning. So he's 2 for 2. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. Well, the weather's supposed to be nice all week long, so get out a chance to come out to the ballpark, watch the Phillies and the first place Giants. Get a chance to enjoy some Budweisers. Hope everybody has an enjoyable week. Phillies here for 7 games. 4 against San Francisco, 3 this weekend against Arizona. Now Vogelsong, 5 for 33 this year. He's got Morse over at third, Duvall at second, and Blanco at first. Corners are in a little bit for the Phillies. Vogelsong's taking some pretty good hacks. Curveball pulled toward third. Ashe's got it, coming home for 1, and that's all they'll get. Morse does a very good job of taking out Cameron Rupp. They didn't have a chance to get Vogelsong anyway. "5-2" on the putout. And a fielder's choice, and the bases remain loaded.
You see what was on, pulls a changeup. Cody actually, that throw almost got up over Rupp's glove right there. Rupp did a great job of catching that ball and making sure he stepped on home plate, and really, with that hesitation to have to stay there to catch the ball, didn't allow him to get out of the way to get in position to make that throw to first base. Now you got to face Hunter Pence with the bases loaded.
And Pence takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
And no place to put him. This is a tough guy to walk.
On the outside corner, 1-1. Pence singled his last time up, lined out to right his first time. On the inside corner with a cutter, it's 1-2. He is a bad ball hitter. You got to be careful with whatever kind of bad ball you throw at him.
And his strike zone really is from about his chin to his shoe tops. If he can reach it, he's going to put his bat on it.
1-2 pitch. Curveball pulled toward third. Diving stop by Ashe to his feet to second. In time to get Vogelsong. Outstanding play by Cody Ashe, and the side is retired. The Giants leave him loaded here at the top of the 4th inning. Cody Ashe, on that ball off the end of the bat, he grabbed it from behind and threw over to second. Chase Utley played a little first base on that one. Or shophonda.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Well, both teams have had chances to score more than the 5 collective runs that we have here tonight. Cody Ashe, though, with a heck of a play to retire Ryan Vogelsong on a fielder's choice by Hunter Pence, just saved the Phillies from allowing some more runs. He and Cameron Rupp were just talking. They're probably discussing that bases loaded ground ball that was to Ashe. The throw was a little high. I don't know if Cameron Rupp would have been able to, if the throw was down a little bit, would have been able to grab it, step away, throw to first to get Vogelsong, because the ball wasn't hit all that hard to Cody Ashe.
Yeah, but he would have been able to gain some momentum and clear himself away from home plate, where Mike Morris wouldn't have been able to tie himself up in his feet, and you had the pitcher running. You may have been able to turn that double play.
Well, here's Grady Sizemore to lead it off. Now, whether they could have or not, there still is that line of communication about that, just to discuss it for future chances.
Well, and you got a catcher who's wearing a catcher's mitt. It's not a baseball glove, and it's difficult to handle the ball, especially the transfer like that. Even though they have to do it to second base,
right?
Now you're standing. You got to get your body in position, but you got to make sure you get the out first at home plate.
Two balls, no strikes to Grady Sizemore. And he pulls that one into right field, a base hit. So Sizemore's now hit it 7 straight with the Phils. And he's aboard to start this bottom of the 4th.
Well, when he squares the ball up, there's a nice sound off of his bat. You can hear it up here in the box.
Rollins 2 for 2. He's got the 2 RBIs tonight on a base hit the opposite way. And he pulls it down the right field line. It's going to hook foul. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Marlins and the Braves are tied at 1. Bottom of the 5th inning in Atlanta. Julio Teheran on the mound for the Braves. Tom Kohler on the hill for the Marlins. Braves and the Nationals are tied for the top spot in the East. Nationals will be in Colorado to take on the Rockies in just a little bit. Chopper foul. And the count remains 0-2 to Rollins. Rollins is behind, no balls and 2 strikes at his last at bat. Was able to punch that single through the left side after he worked the count full. Utley waits on deck. 2-2. Off the end of the bat, over to third. Sandoval to second for 1. It's dropped, and everybody is safe. That'll be the 14th error of the season on Crawford, the shortstop. Could have been like a receiver who heard footsteps from the defensive back on that particular throw. He may have heard Sizemore coming, or he may have been peeking to see if he can get Rollins.
Well, and he came from a different angle, taking a throw from the short. I mean, he's a shortstop. Usually the second baseman is turning that play. Where Crawford was kind of back where he is standing actually right now, it's a completely different throw than he's used to taking. And I think he just took his eye off of it.
I think he was also looking for the second base bag, Jamie, because he was not on it. I think he was looking for the second base bag there. So fielder's choice E6 And the Phillies have runners on first and second with nobody out for Chase Utley. Outside 1-0. Well, he's 1 for 2. He singled his first at bat, fly to right his last time.
And credit Grady Sizemore for going in there hard.
Yeah.
Not assuming that that play was going to be made. He went in there thinking that is my bag. I'm going to get to it. He actually took Crawford's feet out from underneath him. I like that aggressive base running.
Two balls, no strikes. That one's pulled out toward right field, and it drops in front of Hunter Pence. He knocks it down in a hop, and the bases are loaded. And Utley's 2 for 3. Well, somewhere along the line, somebody's going to mix in something other than a single. 18 hits, all 18 are singles tonight.
Get a fastball away, and Chases dumps it right in front of Hunter Pence. And luckily, he got a glove on it for the Giants. If that ball gets by him, you may have 2 runs scoring right there. Base runners had to hold up. Grady Sizemore had to make sure that ball dropped in front of Hunter Pence, so he can only make it to third base.
10 hits allowed, most since 2004 when he was with the Pirates. But he's got a 1-run lead. Here's Ryan Howard. Outside 1-0. A dozen grand slams for Howard. It's been nearly 2 years since his last one. In fact, 22 months since Ryan Howard's last grand slam.
No better time than now.
No better time to go in search of a Baker dozen. The 1-0 pitch. Outside 2-0. George Cantos is the right-hander warming up in the pen for the Giants.
You know, and here's the situation. I know Matt's talked about this several times this year, where you're looking in a zone for a pitch, and you're going to let that bat fly. You're not going to take a passive swing at it. You're going to let it rip.
Well, he threw him a changeup with the count 2-0, and he went a little out in front of it. It's 2-1. He's been laboring tonight. This will be the 80th pitch of the night for Vogelsong.
Ryan Vogelsong, who pitched in the Westchester Adult League. How about that? That's not in the media guide.
2-2. Now, did he do that when he was
college,
okay.
Probably. I played in it a little bit when I was in college.
Really? Is it still going on? I should know that.
As far as I know, yeah. Hoops Park, they play it. It's one of the fields they play on.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Howard. Outside 3-2.
Great eye right there. Not to chase the pitcher's pitch. Now he's got to be around the plate. Now if he has a lot of confidence here, he's going to come with something soft.
Think he's got a lot of confidence?
Well, or he's going to try to elevate a high fastball. I mean, he has options, and he's shown that he has the ability to make to throw that high fastball, to throw a changeup, which he started Ryan off with, or actually the 2-0 pitch was that. The previous inning, he threw a couple really good curveballs, but it's got to be looking like a strike out of his hand. I have to believe for Ryan to take a pass at it.
Well, he's not on the same page right now with Buster Posey. Second time that Howard's asked for time.
Well, he realizes this may be the turning point of the game for him.
3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded. And a check swing, looper down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Sizemore will score. Here comes Rollins. He'll score, and the Phillies have the lead. It's a 4-3 ball game. Ryan Howard, a 2-run bloop single, an excuse me single that was read beautifully by Jimmy Rollins right off the bat.
Here you see Ryan tries to check his swing, and Jimmy is right behind Grady Sizemore, knowing that that ball was going to drop off the bat, and Chase alertly gets to third base.
So the Phillies have taken the lead. A bases loaded single by Ryan Howard. He's now at the 60 RBI mark, and Ryan Vogelsong is done for the night. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. He'll leave. George Contos will come in. And the Phillies still with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. They have 11 hits tonight. MVP Club, presented by DuPont Hospital for Children, is for children 14 and under. Join the Fanatic MVP Club for $13. Receive a Fanatic bobblehead, a water bottle, and a poster. Go to Phillies.com/MVP Fanatic for more information. Phillies lead at 4-3. They have runners on first and third. George Contos will be the new pitcher for the Giants. He'll take over for Ryan Vogelsong, who's charged with 11 hits in 3+ innings. Vogelsong struck out 3 in this outing and is responsible for the 2 base runners that are aboard. And Cliff Lee has the lead. Time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Contos' numbers this year down in AAA, a 2-3 record, an ERA of 2.50. He'll face Marlon Byrd, still nobody out. The Giants on the right side playing the infield at double play depth. On the left side, they bring Crawford in, maybe a half a step or so from double play depth. First pitch is high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Utley's over at third. Howard's at first. Marlin did single his last time. He's 1 for 2. Marlin with 19 home runs this year. He's reached 20 home runs twice in his career, including last season, when he combined to hit 24 between the Mets and the Pirates. He's on pace to kind of blow past those numbers from last year. The 24 was a career high a season ago.
He's put himself together a nice first half. And not only from the offensive side of the plate. In the outfield, he's had a number of assists, made a number of diving plays. Just really done a really nice job.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a called strike 3. And there's one away. Dominic Brown's coming up.
It's like a backup cutter. Buster Posey was looking for that cutter down and away, and it backed up and it came across the plate. It stayed on the plate for called strike 3. Sometimes that's the best pitch in baseball, and sometimes it's the worst pitch in baseball, because when a hitter recognizes it, it becomes an easier pitch to hit. I think that fooled Marlin.
Dominic is 0 for 2. He's lined up and he's popped up. And it's up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies have 11 hits. All 11 hits have been singles. In fact, there are 19 hits in this game, and all 19 are singles.
What I mean by that ball fooling Marlin, if Marlin is visually seeing that ball out of the pitcher's hands and sees the spin on that ball and sees that it's cutter spin, he's expecting that ball to break down and away from him. Where that ball backed up and it was spinning, but the pitcher threw the pitch and it never broke. It actually went the opposite way, and that's what I mean by it potentially fooling him based on the spin.
And he didn't argue at all.
No, he didn't.
Got to get this run home from third. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. They just asked if the rosin could be kicked back to the bottom of the mound on the back.
It's a trick. Sometimes you put it up on the top, get that white. See that white up there?
There's a lot of thinking going on in this game.
Oh, yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes
Not
to
to
Brown.
say that he did it intentionally, but it happens.
And a called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Back-to-back strikeouts by Cantos. And that'll bring Cody Ashley to the plate.
Again, here's a backdoor slider. It's kind of like, almost like the one. I think this was intentional, though. That's almost like the pitch that Marlin struck out on.
Well, Matt always says that's the kind of pitch that he never thinks is a strike. As a hitter, you don't think it's a strike. I don't think that was a strike. Buster Posey moved it a little bit. I don't think it ever got the edge of the plate. But Bill Miller thought it did. It's the only thing that counts. Here's Cody Ashley. Ashley today is 2 for 2. And he pulls that one out toward right field. Pence on the run over toward the track, has room, makes the catch. Just off the end of the bat by Cody Ashley, and the side is retired. The Phillies do get 2. They take the lead. We've completed 4. We'll go to the 5th. It's the Phillies 4, the Giants 3. In fact, it begins with the Roy Halladay Bobble figurine given out to all fans on Friday, August 8th. On the 9th, Charlie Manuel will be inducted into the Wall of Fame. That also is sponsored by Toyota. Tickets can be purchased for that 4-game series against the Mets by going to Phillies.com. So we begin the top of the 5th inning. Marco Scutaro will lead it off. First pitch is on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Scutaro today is 0 for 1. He had a sac bunt his last time up. Scutaro played in 9 rehab games after missing 93 for the Giants. Ball, 2 strikes to Scutaro. And a line drive caught by Cody Ashley. What a play! Great reactions by Ashley over at third. He's made 2 Gold Glove plays here tonight.
He throws a fastball there, and wasn't even a step and a dive. It was just a dive, and Cody Ashley lays out and makes a fine play on that line drive. This happens really quick. You don't realize, if you're not right down on the field, you don't realize how quick that happens.
Huge to get that first batter out, particularly for Lee, who's about to throw his 70th pitch of the night. Buster Posey had a 2-run single his last time up. Now the 0-1 pitch coming to Posey. Ground ball left side. A little easier play, although that ball ran up a little bit on Ashley. 2 outs. Well, it's time now for our Geico quote of the day, and this seems to be an ongoing thing for Cliff Lee on the distraction of the trade deadline. I feel I signed with Philadelphia to come here to win a championship, and that's what I want to do. That's where my focus is, and that's what every guy's focus on the team should be. You should focus on winning every game to get to the postseason and win the World Series. That's where my focus is going to stay. Now, obviously, the reality of it is the trade deadline is July 31st, the non-waiver trade deadline. As Sandoval swings at the first pitch, misses it, and it goes right back. And a lot of eyes are on Cliff Lee. Got a lot of scouts here tonight. Steve Balboni is the 3rd one in
there
from the right.
That group of guys are here scouting. Who knows?
Joe McIlvaine, former general manager of the Padres and the Mets. He's the one with the yellow stopwatch. He just leaned over with the glasses. He's here. Mike Koplov, who pitched for a number of years, Philadelphia guy. He's here. 0-2 to Sandoval. And in fact, a lot of those same guys were in Atlanta while the Phillies were there over the weekend. This is Steve Balboni right here. Remember him? He was a pretty good power hitter, huh?
Faced him a few times. I didn't recognize him.
No balls and 2 strikes to Pablo Sandoval. Now toward right field. It's not deep. Here comes Bird coming on. Makes the catch. The side is retired. A couple of good defensive plays by the Phillies. Here in the 5th. Giants go down in order, and we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. coach, was named to the Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame in February of 2010?
That would be Dave Righetti.
Dave Righetti is correct. Dave is the pitching coach for the Giants. Now, Dave would normally be here, but he's not. Dave had vertigo while on the plane for the Giants, so he's going to head home to San Francisco driving. So they'll check him out. He's been a very good pitching coach for the Giants. In fact, he was here before Bruce Bochy, and now, of course, Bochy is now the longtime manager of the Giants. He stayed around, and he's done a nice job as the pitching coach for San Francisco. Cameron Rupp 1 for 2 tonight, and he pulls that one through the hole on the left side, a base hit. So 2 hits now for Cam.
On a nice quick shutdown inning for Cliff Lee last inning, gets the Phillies off the field, back up swinging the bats, and Cameron Rupp starts off the bottom of the 5th with a single.
Well, the major league record, JB, for most hits in a game that are all singles is 37. Back in 1896.
Got a little ways to go.
Baltimore and Washington. Our research will now have to figure out what they were called, Baltimore and Washington, at that time. Lee squares, takes a strike. It's 0-1. I would think there's a good chance that that Baltimore was the Orioles even back then, because that was a long time Baltimore name before the Baltimore Orioles, this latest edition, came about. With Sandoval way in on the grass at third, Lee takes a hack, and it's 0-2. We've seen Ryan Sandberg do this a lot this year.
I have no problem with the play. I just wish Cliff would shorten his swing a little bit. It's all about making contact and just putting the ball in play, because the defense is moving. You're not looking for a double in the gap. You're just looking for a ground ball, maybe right at the third baseman when he's right on top of you.
And a called strike 3. Third strikeout for Contos. Grady Sizemore's coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Ty. Well, it's time now for a Coors Banquet Timeless Moment. We'll take you back to July 21st, 1997. Curt Schilling struck out 15 that day. That's the most since a Phillies pitcher since Carlton had struck out 16 back in 1982. But in that game, he did lose to Pittsburgh 3-2. That's a tough way to lose a game.
Sure is. 15 strikeouts and a 3-2 loss. I vaguely remember that. Here's Sizemore who takes a strike. It's 0-1. Now, you weren't a strikeout pitcher, but did you ever have a game like that where you're like, man, I had everything going. I was striking out everybody, and I took the loss? I mean, I'm sure you've had games where you felt like you had great stuff, and you went up losing 2-1 or 3-2.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of big strikeout games. I mean, I think the most strikeouts I ever had in a game, in a major league game, might have been 13. Actually, it might have been my first start with the Texas Rangers. But I did have, actually, early in my career, it was a day game with the Cubs against the Giants. I think I struck out 8 guys in a row.
Oh, 2 off the record.
And I may have lost that game.
You didn't get a bunt down at the right time, huh?
No, I think I gave up a couple in the basket.
1-1 pitch is hit in the air to center field. It's pretty well hit, but playable. Blanco is under it, makes the catch. Rupp will go back to first. 2 outs. Well, here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins has been on base 3 times tonight. The last time he had a fielder's choice to third, a ground ball to third. The throw went to second. It was dropped by Crawford, and that allowed the Phils to score the 2 runs to take the lead.
And looking back, not trying to second guess here, but if Cliff gets that bunt down, that fly ball gets Rupp to third base puts the Giants in a totally different situation right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Phillies would have 2 outs and a runner over at third. You take your chances at that point. 1 ball, no strikes.
Score far more many ways from third than you can from first.
Two and one to Rollins. Cantos out of relief of Ryan Vogelsong, who allowed 11 hits and 4 runs. The 3-inning start for Vogelsong, his shortest outing since the 21st of April. That game he went an inning and a third. Three balls and 1 strike to Rollins.
And I'm sure nobody feels worse than Ryan Vogelsong. That 3 up there probably looks like a 30 for him.
That is true.
Since they haven't scored him a lot of runs, and he's probably feeling like he didn't hold up his end of the bargain tonight.
Amazing statistic, though. No runs in his last 4 starts before tonight while he was out there. 3 straight shutouts. And Rollins lifts it to shallow right center, playable for Pence. And the Phillies are retired in their half of the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. The Phils have left 10 tonight. They have the lead, though, as we go to the 6th. Strong at the back end of games for the Phils. Consistent and dominating in the first half of the season, Jonathan enters the second half tied for 6th in saves with 22 and is carrying the 3rd lowest ERA at 1.29 amongst National League save leaders. He became just the 8th pitcher in MLB history to record 20-plus saves in 9 consecutive seasons. When Papelbon has got the call, he has delivered. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Fanatic decided to put together a little tarantella here tonight on Fiat Italian Heritage Night. We always say the Fanatic can adapt to any kind of dance. He may not adapt well, but he can adapt. Thank the folks at Fiat for sponsoring Italian Heritage Night. Fanatic was rolling around one of those Fiats before the start of the ball game. Here's Michael Morse to face Cliff Lee, who had a 10-pitch 5th inning. Morse has been on base twice. He singled. He also walked. So he's 1 for 1. On the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike to Morse. You got a thought on number of pitches for Lee? He's at 75 now, but where he'll finish up? I mean, is 6 innings it? Will he go deeper?
Thinking 90 to 100. I don't know what he threw in his previous outing, rehab outing.
There's a broken back ground ball that just gets under the glove of Morse. Man, he's got a lot of firewood here tonight. And another base hit. And another single.
I'll give him all the singles he wants.
Yeah.
Keep him in the ballpark. And slower on the bases. Slow everybody down a little bit.
That's a good point, too.
Good candidate for a double play. Just got to figure out what kind of hitter Adam Duvall is here.
Well, you know, he was a good hitter in the minor leagues. Obviously, it doesn't always translate. 26 home runs this year, 79 runs batted in. And he misses with that first pitch. It's 1-0.
Get himself a double play right here and get a quick third out. Buy himself another inning.
Fly ball center field. That's well hit. Sizemore on the run out toward the track. It is gone. A home run for Adam Duvall. It's his second in the big leagues. The Giants take a 5-4 lead. Man, he crushed that ball to straightaway center field. I guess we know that he has good power.
Pretty much right down the middle. He barreled that ball up pretty good. Stayed right through it. Used a big part of the field. He actually drove it out to almost the deepest part of the ballpark.
First pitch to Crawford is fouled. It's 0-1. All right, so the Phillies have been down before tonight. They were down 1-0. They were down 3-2. Now they're down 5-4. That's the first extra base hit of the night for either team. Justin DeFreitas starts to throw on the pen for the Phils. And that'll bring Gregor Blanco to the plate. Blanco is 2 for 2. And he pulls that one just foul, and it's 0-1. Joaquin Arias has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the Giants pitcher. And he bunts at it, and he missed it, and it's 0-2. And a called strike 3. That's got to hurt. I believe Cameron Rupp somehow was crossed up, but somehow got the glove on it and was able to get it onto his body. And the umpire got a piece of this. Oh, and he stayed with it to call it a strike. Miller says he's okay. There wasn't a whole lot of padding where that ball hit. Provided padding, I should say. So here's Arias. He takes up high, 1-0. A lot of times umpires won't stay with those kind of balls if they are crossed up.
Strike is a strike. Credit Bill Miller for calling it.
2-0 to Joaquin Arias, pinch hitting here. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. And a line drive base hit, the second pitch hit of the year for Arias. Sizemore cuts it off, but Arias is on his way to second, and he slides in safely. Ball really took off on the grass. So Arias gets a double with 2 men down. And that'll bring Hunter Pence to the plate.
It looked like he was about 80% going down the line. He got to the bag, and all of a sudden he shifted into another gear and smelled a double. But yeah, he had his eyes on the ball the whole time.
Well, now Hunter Pence with 2 men down. Pence is 1 for 3. Fielder's choices last time up. Change up low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And a line drive base hit it to left field. Rounding third, heading for home is Arias. The ball booted by Dominic Brown. A run will score. And it's a 6-4 ball game. An RBI single for Pence. Second hit of the night. Arias scores. And the Giants lead is at 2, 6-4. And this is a career high hits allowed for Lee. It ties his career high of 12.
Base hit here to left field, and
well, we had him too.
For whatever reason, I don't know if Dominic took his eye off of it. The ball hit him. It did look like he took his eye off of it. Right. No,
I think he was looking up to see where Arias was.
Hit him in the heel and bounced out of his glove. And the hustle by Arias, when he got the base hit for the double, allowed him to score right there on that base hit by Hunter Pence.
So Cliff Lee's night is done. The Giants score 6 runs, including 3 in this inning. A pitching change. Justin DeFreitas is coming on for the Phils. Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, J.P. Crawford, and Maikel Franco. Don't miss Phillies Clubhouse, presented by Mercedes-Benz on Comcast Sportsnet. Phillies trail at 6-4 as we are in the top of the sixth inning. There are 2 men down. 3 runs have scored for the Giants, including the last one on a base hit by Hunter Pence. Phillies had a chance possibly to make a play at the plate. The ball that was dropped by Dominic Brown. Justin DeFreitas will take over. So Cliff Lee's first game back. And he allows 6 runs. So DeFreitas' first pitch is taken low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Adrianza will be the pinch hitter for the Giants. Pinch hitting for Marco Scutaro with Pence over at first. 3 for 17 as a pinch hitter. Fouls it away, and it's 1-1. Adrianza is a guy that has seen some time for the Giants. He's hitting .222. This is his 82nd at bat. A slider in there, and it's 1-2. There it goes. Pitch is taken high. The throw to second sails into center field. Pence will stop at second and not advance. A stolen base for Pence, his 9th of the year.
Hunter Pence gets a real good jump here. And then on top of it, Cameron Rupp's throw goes to the second base side of second base, which really there's no contest on that throw. Hunter Pence does so many things for a ball club. Offensively, defensively. Oh, by the way, he's got 7 putouts from right field this year as well.
He scored 71 runs this season, counting the one tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
120 hits. 37 multi-hit games. I mean, adds a lot of value to a club, and the character that he brings in the dugout.
Yeah,
and I think that there's something to be said for that. I don't know how you measure that, but his teammates look like they have a lot of fun when he's having fun.
I think that was definitely the case when he came over from Houston, that second half of that season. Inside, ball 4. And that upper runner's on first and second. And it brings the dangerous Buster Posey to the plate. Posey's 1 for 3 as a 2-run single. That was back in the 3rd. He's also grounded out a couple times. Fastball, and it's 0-1. Once it's sharp with his second. Big hop for Chase Utley. And the throw over to first retires the side, but 8 men come to the plate in the inning. The Giants score 3 runs. They finally get an extra base hit. Cliff Lee's night is done, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. the ride of your life and save big today. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser, here's to Budweiser, here's to baseball. And by WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. Oh, Adrianza will stay in the ballgame to play second base for the Giants. Taking over for Marco Scutaro, and the new pitcher is veteran left-hander Javier Lopez. 39th game for Lopez. An ERA of 2.75. Lefties are hitting .213 against him. Giants have two very good left-handers, two veteran left-handers. Jeremy Affeldt is one, Lopez is the other. So Lopez is on here because you have Utley, Howard, the first two batters to hit here in the sixth. I'll give Contos credit. He came in and kind of stabilized things for the Giants staff. Struck out 3. So Utley will lead things off. Utley's 2 for 3 tonight. The Phillies do have 12 hits, but all 12 hits have been singles. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. See Chase's numbers against the left-hander. 0 for 9 with a walk. That is tough to pick up for some lefties.
Well, he really drops down. He changes speeds on his breaking ball, and then when he throws a fastball, it looks a lot harder than it really is. But I'm sure it's tough to pick up from the arm angle that he has. You don't see many lefties from this arm angle.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And the other thing is he's got very good command. You know, if it's a guy that doesn't have good command, you know, I don't think he's a difficult at bat. But if he's got good command in the zone and out of the zone, it makes him a very difficult pitcher to face.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Utley. Outside, 2-2. Remember when the Giants picked Lopez up from the Boston Red Sox, he had been good for the Red Sox for a time and then kind of struggled. And Giants have been able to do this over the years. They've been able to pull guys up off the scrap heap almost. In fact, he was with the Red Sox, then the Pirates. And the Giants picked him up from the Pirates in 2010.
Yeah, I remember him with the Pirates, and I thought he was he wasn't consistent, but he was a fairly effective pitcher. He looked like he was starting to turn the corner.
Well, for the Red Sox in 08, 2.43 ERA. That's pretty darn good.
In the American League?
Yeah.
Definitely.
09, though, 9.26. Then he went to the Pirates in 2010 before the Giants picked him up. Utley pulls it to second. And there's one away. And, you know, it's all part of the additions at the toward the trade deadline. And the Giants today, Murph, announced that they've made another addition. We had heard this when we were down in Atlanta, that Dan Uggla, who was let go by the Braves, could possibly land in Oakland or San Francisco, and it turns out he's going to land in San Francisco.
Well, yeah, and certainly that's the plan for the San Francisco Giants, and I'm sure for Dan Uggla. We got word today, many reports out there, that he has signed a minor league contract with the San Francisco Giants, so he'll first report to their AAA affiliation, which is in Fresno, and he'll try to work his way back up to the big league club. But, you know, we speculated that he could help a team, certainly a team down the stretch, and the Giants just may be that team. You know, they have a need for that position. They have a need for a guy with some power off the bench, so we'll wait and see.
Well, he's got an out clause reportedly. All this is reported. An out clause reportedly as of August 1st. As that one's chopped to the right side, Crawford, the shortstop, makes the play, which kind of makes sense because if they don't like what they see leading up to the July 31st trade deadline, they can bring in another second baseman, and then he can opt to go out and go somewhere else if he chooses to.
Yeah, and certainly you look at his recent past with the Atlanta Braves. He's a guy that has been struggling. He believes, and he's talked to many folks in the Braves organization. He believes he can get back if he gets some regular playing time and get some regular at bats and get back to the player that he was. And that's what the Giants are hoping as well. But he's got a couple of weeks to do that before they have to make a decision on him and that out clause. So Dan Uggla is the kind of guy. He's an intriguing guy because you understand what kind of power he has. You certainly know what he's done to the Phillies over the years. So he may be a guy that can help a team down the stretch. All
right, well, we'll follow it, of course.
Most definitely he's a guy that's going to need some at-bats.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had a whole lot of consistent at-bats when he was with Atlanta. And that's what the Giants are going to have. They're probably going to be. That's probably going to be the biggest thing that they're going to key off.
Right.
I mean, he's a very adequate second baseman to probably above average, but he does, on occasion he has made some some poor plays that have cost him. I know, but back when he was in Miami, we played him enough where, he hit a lot of home runs and he made up for it because he drove in a lot of runs and hit a lot of home runs. But a team that's maybe not scoring a lot of runs can't afford to give up runs.
2 balls, 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Bastardo warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies. Last couple of days, stories have circulated that scouts are keeping an eye on Antonio Bastardo as well. 3 balls, 1 strike to Byrd. And a ground ball over to third. That's a foul ball. It's 3-2.
Well, the adage in baseball is, I heard it a long time in my career, if you're left-handed and you got a heartbeat, you got a chance.
Let me see if you still have a heartbeat, Jamie. Let me see.
I do.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Byrd. Ground ball right side. And Byrd is retired. Easy inning for Lopez. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in their half of the 6th inning. So 6 in the books. We'll move to the 7th. It's the Giants 6 and the Phillies 4. For your local Honda dealers game summary, the Phillies trail at 6-4. The Giants put a 3-spot up on the board. And at the top of the 6th inning, Adam Duvall was part of that, a 2-run home run. Ryan Vogelsong allowed 4 runs, 3 earned, over 3+ for the Giants. The Phillies kind of left him off the hook a couple times. So now as we go to the top of the 7th, at 6-4, San Francisco is on top. And Antonio Bastardo will take over. 43rd game for Bastardo, 4-3, with an earned run average of 3.38. Again, this is still a manageable ball game for the Phillies. The Giants, although their bullpen has been better lately, in fact, over their last 22 2/3, the earned run average for the bullpen for the Giants is under 0.9. But it is a bullpen that has showed some leaks during the course of this season. So the top of the 7th. And Pablo Sandoval leads it off. Sandoval 1 for 3. And he shows bunt, takes a strike, 0-1. Ooh, off of the starto. Picked up by Howard, and Sandoval safe at first. That'll be a base hit. Cameron Rupp will check and see if Antonio's okay. Sean Ficasni, the Phillies athletic trainer, Bob McClure. I didn't see where that hit him, Jamie. I don't know if it hit him in the arm or if it hit him in the chest.
I thought it hit him in the arm, but I don't know. Oh, it was hit pretty hard. I don't know.
I think it did hit his. It may have hit his hand. It's tough to tell by that angle. It looked like he was trying to catch it almost. He pointed to the forearm when Sean Ficasni came out. Says he's okay. So a base hit for Sandoval, his second hit of the day. The batter will be Michael Morse.
I think you got to be careful right here with Mike Morse ripping at that first pitch, trying to drive it out of the ballpark.
He's 2 for 2 today with a walk. He has scored 1 run. He's broken a handful of bats tonight. No balls, 1 strike to Morse. Fly ball out toward right. Playable for Bird. It's way up there. And Marlin makes the catch, 1 away. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. And here comes Duvall, who homered his last time up. He crushed the ball to center field. Swing and a miss, so no balls and 1 strike. Some days Bastardo has trouble with the strike zone. Other days like today, he's thrown nothing but strikes. And now number 8. The pitch, that is. And it's fouled away, so 8 strikes.
I believe a lot of that comes from being able to repeat your mechanics. I think it's really, really important. And when he's aggressive, I think he's a very, very effective pitcher. I do see, or I feel like at times he loses a little bit of aggression and then he starts to nibble. I don't think he gives
himself
the stuff
credit
that he has enough credit.
I agree with you on that.
I think he's got very good stuff.
Swing and miss. He got him. That's all that good stuff that you're talking about right there. 2 outs here in the 7th. Well, this is a good breaking ball right here by Bastardo.
Good slider in the dirt that Duvall chases. I think he realized that once he started to swing, but he couldn't stop his swing.
Well, every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, which Cliff Lee did twice tonight, once in the first, once in the 5th. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Cliff tonight 5 2/3. He allowed 12 hits and 6 runs in his return. It was good to see him back on the mound. This is remarkable. 11 pitches, 11 strikes, as Crawford is behind 0-1.
And he's free and easy. It doesn't look like he's trying to force the ball to home plate. It's nice and easy, and the ball's just, I mean, it's got a lot of life out of his hand. There's no tension there. He almost looks like you could tell him what's coming, and they wouldn't hit it.
That's not always the case, but It's good to see. Yeah, the 0-2 pitch coming. Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bastardo, so he throws 13 pitches in the inning, all 13 for strikes. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. The Phillies trail it 6-4. To 4. Reminder that Charlie Manuel will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame on Saturday, August 9th at 7:05. That's a game the Phillies will have against the New York Mets. And prior to that, the ceremony will take place. It's all part of Toyota Alumni Weekend. And all fans coming to the game tonight will receive the commemorative print. Compliments of Toyota. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dominic Brown. Brown is 0 for 3. And it's 1-2.
Tom, another thought I have about the effectiveness of Lopez. I think he's effective because of his style of pitching, but also how Bruce Bochy uses him. You know, he brought him in after a guy in Cantos who threw pretty hard. You know, that change of speeds plus the change of arm angle, and when hitters can only see him one at bat, they can't really adjust. You know, it's harder for them to adjust to him. Or if they saw him consecutive at bats, they would be able to, you know, delete a side of the plate, delete a pitch, whatever it may be.
Yeah, so this is, you know, he's basically going through these lefties right now, and that's going to be it for him.
Exactly.
Just off the outside corner, 3-2 to Dominic Brown. I thought Dominic was up in the second, third, and fourth innings tonight. And here in the seventh, up for the fourth time. Lopez will stay in for Ashe, who's on deck.
And that ball that he's thrown into Dominic right there looks like it has some sink, and Dominic can't get underneath of it. He's just hitting the top of the ball, and that's why he's fouling it off like he is.
That one hits his foot. It's a foul ball.
You know, and he's getting him to pull. Now, you know, at some point here, you know, he may sweep a breaking ball, slow breaking ball, and get Dominic way out on his front foot.
Now ball right back to the box. It was hit sharply, but Lopez fielded his position well. So he's retired all four batters he's faced tonight. And that'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate. Ashe 2 for 3 in tonight's ball game. He's also made a couple very good defensive plays over a third.
It's really interesting. I look back at the two previous hitters, Marlon Byrd and Dominic Brown. Lopez threw 14 straight fastballs to the two of them. And now with Cody Ashe, he's thrown 3 straight breaking balls. So I mean, here's a guy that's got command. And like I say, he's got a different arm angle, but that breaking ball is really slow, and it's hard for these left-handed hitters to stay back on it.
1-2 pitch. That one's cued toward third. Sandoval charging. Ashe hustling. The throw in time. Well, that's a heck of a play if it stands by Pablo Sandoval. Ashe slowly going back toward the first base bag. Here comes Ryan Sandberg. Boy, naked eye, it looked like he was safe. First base umpire Chad Fairchild was right on it. Ashe's just going to linger around that first base bag. You know, it's really close. Larry Bowe just did the thumbs up. So he was sort of going Metza. Thumbs up, but I'm not sure. So they're going to look at it. And again, 7th inning. Phillies down by 2. They need the tying run to come to the plate. So they'll figure they'll get a look at this one. I don't think this one's going to be overturned, to be honest with you. See, the ball is in his glove and his foot is just arriving at the bag. So I think that's going to be one of those that'll be inconclusive. And the call will stand. Watch it here. Foot is foot's on the bag there, and the ball was just arriving in his gloves, so they could overturn it. Look at Bo. He signaled 7th inning, so let's go. And that's part of it. That's part of understanding the replay challenges. You know, this is the point where you can ask the umpire to review it, as long as you haven't used a challenge, which the Phillies haven't. It's close, Jamie. You know, we've had some of these this year. This same play go either way. So I think it's depending on what the folks in New York see. Watch another look. Ball has not arrived yet. Foot is not on the bag. Foot is on the bag right there, and the ball is not. That may open it up. In fact, they just signaled safe. All right, so they've overturned it. That's the 3rd hit of the night by Cody Asche. So it turns out to be a good challenge. And now Bruce Bochy's on to make a double switch. Tyler Colvin's going to come on to play the outfield, and they're going to bring in the right-hander Machi to take over for Lopez here in the 7th inning. So the Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate. They trail at 6-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning with 1 man down. Instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store. Visit Phillies.com today. It's 6-4. Giants on top. The Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 man down. It's time now for our Hyundai defensive plays of the game. It's pretty good defensive plays today.
Yes, there have. Start off the game, Marlon Byrd makes a diving catch in right field for the first out of the game. And then Cody Asche makes a diving play in the 5th inning. Wasn't even a step and a dive. It was just a dive. Makes a great play there on Pablo Sandoval. And those are our Hyundai defensive plays of the game.
Give Asche credit. He's made a couple very good plays tonight. There's Colvin. He's on as part of the double switch. So Colvin will bat 9th. And Gene Machi, the big right-hander, is on for the Giants. 5-0 with a 1.60 earned run average. He's got to take off all of his jewelry, his bracelet, his necklace. Jamie, I hope somebody reminds him that he put all that stuff in his back pocket. You know, when they do laundry or stuff like that, some of that stuff doesn't always come out.
I'm sure that back pocket's pretty heavy right now.
Phillies have Manship and Diekman warming up in the bullpen. Cameron Rupp is 2 for 3. Giants set up to try to turn 2. And Revere has come out of the on-deck circle.
Now, after you have a guy like Lopez in the game, now you bring a guy like Manship in, who now throws 94. So again, and he throws from a different side. So you're changing the look greatly. This is all learning how to utilize your bullpen.
No, Bruce Bochy's been around for a long time. Former catcher. No balls, 1 strike. And it's 0-2.
Cameron just looked at him like, where did that come from? 94, then 85. Was some sink.
Nice play by Buster Posey. And it's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Will ever move him from behind home plate solely to play first base, Posey?
I don't know. I don't know if he wants to. You got to believe, once a catcher, always a catcher.
He was a shortstop in college who then converted
right
to being a catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2. That one floated. Diekman and Manship. Ground ball toward the hole, backheaded by Crawford, flips to second in time for 1. What a double play by the Giants. I didn't think they'd get 1, but they got 2. A 6-4-3 double play. Well, that's some outstanding defense right there, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left, and a really good double play started by Crawford. And a quick release at second, and Machi certainly likes that. To find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And buy Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. It's Italian Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park, and Joe Soprani, who we met, it was 2 years ago, on the dugout with the Fanatic, entertaining the crowd in between innings. Jeff Manship will take over as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Manship will face Gregor Blanco, then Tyler Colvin. Blanco is 2 for 3. 2 runs, an RBI single his first time up. Singled in the 4th. Then again, everybody's singled, except for Duvall and Joaquin Arias. Down low, 1 ball, no strikes. pretty much missed with the same pitch on all three to Blanco. And there's ball 4.
And you're saying, I know I can get one of these over. At some point, you get to 2 and all right, I'm going to throw it right down the middle. And there's sometimes you can't even get it right down the middle.
Well, that'll bring Tyler Colvin to the plate with a runner at first. Colvin up for the first time. Came on as part of a double switch. Down and away. That's 5 in a row out of the strike zone.
And now maybe it's time to try something else.
This is the Bizarro Bastardo right here. Bastardo threw 13 strikes in his outing. Popped him up, straight up, right around home plate. Rupp off with the mask. 1 out. We'll go back to the top of the order. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Greg Murphy.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University. Another milestone for Red Sox slugger David Ortiz. He launched 2 home runs tonight in the Red Sox drubbing of the Blue Jays, and in doing so, he passed Carl Yastrzemski for 36th all-time on the home run list. It was career home run number 453, the second one in that game, number 453 for David Ortiz. And how about this, guys? A record-setting weekend for Major League Baseball attendance-wise. Over this past weekend, over 1,665,000 fans passed through the turnstiles in Major League ballparks all over the United States. That is the largest weekend attendance in over 5 years. The last time they had that big of a number over a 3-day period over a weekend, 2009 in late July. So a good weekend for Major League Baseball, and ticket sales all over the country. Good stuff.
That is really good stuff. I know there's a lot of minor league teams in our area that drew very well too. As Pence lines that one into right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Blanco is going to speed easily around the bases, and Pence is on his way to third, and he'll get there sliding. An RBI triple at 7-4. Giants on top. 5 triples for Hunter Pence. 22 doubles to go along with 12 home runs.
And does it in the most unorthodox way. You would never teach that. But I have all the respect in the world for how he does it. The one thing I will tell you, he plays this game with a lot of heart.
Boy, he does move still. So now Adrianzo will bat with the infield in. It's now a 3-run ball game. 0-1. Pitch at the knees. He walked his first time up. And he bunts. The squeeze is on. He went, and Pence is tagged out. Great block by Cameron Rupp. Great reaction as well. And there are 2 outs. Boy, that was a great play by Rupp.
If you really think about it, in all actuality, he should have been out anyway because his back foot was out of the batter's box.
And ooh,
that's a good pitch right there too.
Well, Rupp's made a couple good plays tonight behind the plate. And a line drive base hit it to right field. Up and in, 1 ball, no strikes. In the air to center field. That's well hit. Sizemore going back toward the track, to the wall, has room, makes the catch. And the side is retired. A run does score on the RBI triple by Hunter Pence. 2 hits in the inning for the Giants. They leave 1. Middle of the 8th. It's a 7-4 Giants lead. All fans 14 under will receive the WB Mason collectible truck. For tickets for that great giveaway, go to Phillies.com and make your purchase. Well, Ben Revere is going to lead things off for the Phillies, but he's not going to face Gene Machi. He's going to instead face Jeremy Affeldt. So they'll bring in the left-hander to face Revere, and then you have Sizemore, a left-hander, due up in the on-deck circle. So Machi is done after getting a double play ball to end the 7th inning. Another pitching change. Phillies lead at 7-4. And Jeremy Affeldt, the veteran, is coming in. A pinch hitter. Bruce Bochy's decided to go to the bullpen and get Jeremy Affeldt. So Affeldt's warming up on the mound. Affeldt's had a nice bounce back this year. 2-1 with an ERA of 1.57. We're talking about a guy that's been a steady left-hander now for a long time. Affeldt will take over. And we'll face Revere, then Grady Sizemore. And then Jimmy Rollins. Affeldt now in his 6th season with the Giants. Last year in 39 games, he had an ERA of 3.74. But the previous 2 years, his earned run average was under 3. It's been a couple of trips onto the disabled list last year. So he'll face Ben Revere as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. The infield is in at the corners. And Revere takes strike one. It's 0-1. Ben hitting .293 with a home run and 12 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. Ground ball to the right side. And Revere is retired, so 1 out here in the 8th. Well, it's time now for the AT&T fan photo of the game. This one comes from NLHRN. A drumstick. A pretty nice grub here at the ballpark. That's from Bull's Barbecue. Tweet your photo to hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Well, now Grady Sizemore with nobody on. Phillies have just 1 hit in the last 3 innings. Then just 2 hits in the last 4. After getting 11 hits in the first 4 innings tonight. Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Sizemore. Grady's 1 for 4. He singled in the 4th and came around to score. He's hit it 7 straight. Had a foul tip. Posey hangs on. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Jimmy Rollins is due up. Jimmy does have 2 hits tonight and 2 RBIs. He's also scored a run. Curveball. Looks like Mario Hollins is going to pitch the top of the 9th inning for the Phillies. They're going to try to get him back to where he was early on this season. Off the end of the bat, out of play, 1-2. Murph, I thought there was a pretty good chance that was going to shoot off the seat and come right back toward you.
We were ready for it, Tom. I was ready to go. That's the kind of foul ball I want to catch.
Yeah, that one looked like it was going to float right back into your hands. What about Alex? Was he going to get it too?
Yeah, Alec was ready to go too. Here, we're going to get another chance.
You just scared Alec.
We did. He jumped.
Yeah, he did. How's his fantasy baseball team doing? Is it all right yet?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
He's doing very well. Thanks for asking.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Rollins. And a foul tip, and Affeld has struck out the last 2 batters, and the Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 8th inning. So we go to the 9th inning. Phillies down by 3. Mario Hollins is going to come in for the Phils. Phils of the San Francisco Giants. The Dodgers have already won tonight over the Pirates, so the Giants need to win to keep pace with Los Angeles. Here's Mario Hollins in his 36th ball game, 1-1 with an ERA of 3.62. Jamie, I know you were traveling yesterday, coming back to the East Coast, but Mario had a little trouble with his command in yesterday's ball game with the Atlanta Braves. It's probably the first time we've seen him this year struggle with his command as much as he did.
Well, and it happens. But what I like is Ryan Sandberg coming right back with him today. You know, and if he was able to not completely find it yesterday, he had catch time today, this pregame to work on it. Well, first of all, he had the night to sleep on it,
right,
and then to think about it, and then try to work things out on the flat ground, and then his bullpen before he came in the game, and then now another opportunity on the field to see if he's made the appropriate adjustment.
Well, Pablo Sandoval will lead things off against Mario Hollins. First pitch is fouled off the mask of Cameron Rupp, and it's 0-1.
You know, it's never fun to be out there. You kind of feel like you're in no man's land when you're struggling to throw strikes, and there's nobody out there trying harder than the pitcher himself, but sometimes you get in your own way and you can't figure out how to get out of your own way.
There's a fly ball out toward left center field. Dominic Brown into the alleyway makes the catch. One out.
So getting back up on that horse that you got knocked off of is really important.
Well, Mario yesterday after his outing, he sat in the dugout, and A.J. Burnett chatted with him for a while. We were just showing a lot of that, and he looked like he was hurting after that outing.
Well, he cares.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a good sign. You know, if you're just laughing and walking it off like, who cares? You know, that's not good.
Hector Sanchez, the pitch hitter, grounds out to Rollins, 2 outs. So 3 pitches and 2 away here in the top of the 9th. And Adam Duvall will be the batter. There's AJ. I don't know everything that AJ said to Mario Hollins yesterday.
Well, to me, usually if you're having that type of situation with somebody that's struggling, you go back to basics and you say, what allows you to be successful? And I think sometimes you forget what allows you to be successful, and it's just usually some basic things. It's a balance thing. It's getting maybe your hand out of your glove. It's timing. It's tempo. It's your aggression. Not being there, not being able to see it, but also not being in Mario's head. That's what you have to figure out as the individual. But it's always great to have the support of a teammate who's probably been through some of the same battles.
1 ball and 1 strike to Duvall.
And it also shows that your teammates care.
Right.
I mean, it's bad enough to struggle out there by yourself, but if everybody's going to leave you alone after the fact, then you feel like you're going through it all by yourself.
Yeah, the conversation went on for a while between the two.
And this is not an easy game. Sometimes it's made to look really, really easy, but it's not. And we sit up here and we talk about this mistake or that mistake or what could have been done, or we're not actually doing it. And you don't know what's going through each individual's head. And sometimes there's outside distractions that are in the way that nobody knows about.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Duvall.
I think at times we forget that these athletes are human beings. And they have some of the same issues that we all have to deal with and go through.
Chopper back toward the middle. Utley backhands. So a pretty clean inning for Mario Hollins. 8 pitches, and he retires the side in order. One last chance for the Phillies. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. They're down by 3. It'll be Utley, Howard, and Bird. Three, 4, and 5 are due up for the Phils. It's time now for our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Jamie, in a game that was littered with all singles, this was the first extra base hit.
Yeah, and it was hit very well by Adam Duvall. The dead center field fastball right down the middle. He showed that he's got straightaway power here at Citizens Bank Park, and that is the W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
All right, so now Santiago Casillas on to try to save this one for the Giants. He saved the last 4 ball games for the Giants. 5 saves overall, 3 blown saves. Sergio Romo, who has 22 saves this year for the Giants, well, he's allowed 13 runs on 15 hits, including 4 home runs in his last 10 2/3. So that's why Casillas kind of slid into that closer's role. Great earned run average, 1.01 in 32 games. So he's on to face Utley, Howard, Marlon, Bird, with the Phillies down by 3. 2 base runners. Phillies need 2 base runners to bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, the Giants bullpen's been very effective for them this year. I think they're at 2.83 ERA. I think it's third in the National League. That's saying something.
Well, Mario Hollins, after he came off, A.J. Burnett, a little quicker conversation tonight.
Just double checking probably a couple things they chatted about yesterday.
Well, here we go. The Phillies down by 3. They trailed it 1-0, then 3-2. Then they led it 4-3. And the Giants scored the 3 runs in the 6th. They tacked on an insurance run in the 8th. They lead it 7-4 here in the 9th. He takes the first one outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, 1 strike to Utley. 2-2 at the knees with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Out toward right center field. On the run is Blanco. And then he makes the catch. That one went back toward him. 1 out here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate, who's 2 for 3 tonight. I should say 2 for 4. With a couple RBIs. Just the 3rd at bat for Howard against Santiago Casilla. Fastball upstairs. It's 1 ball, no strikes. To the right side. Look at Howard hustling up that line, trying to beat that out. But it turns out to be an easy play, and there are 2 outs here in the 9th. That'll bring Marlon Byrd up. Phillies down to their final out. Don't forget, coming up after the ball game, it's Phillies postgame live. It's presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Marlon Anderson is in the house to try to break down this ball game. The Phillies trail at 7-4. Again, Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Marlon Byrd stands in, 2 men down. Time is called. Now it's 0-2. A lot of buzz in the crowd at the start of the ball game with Cliff Lee making the start for the Phils. Cliff wound up going 5 2/3. He allowed 6 runs, tied a career high in hits allowed with 12. Some signs of, the old Cliff Lee. Other signs, guy that's been off for the last couple months. 0-2 to Marlon Byrd. Inside 1-2. Those plays are not as easy as they seem. Bill needed to use two hands, but he did have his hand on the camera. It's kind of tough to do that.
Got to get your hand down a little lower.
Andy, you got to work with him, I think, later on. That one's hit toward the hole. A base hit for Marlon Byrd, so he has 2 hits tonight. So Marlins aboard. Dominic Brown's coming up. Dominic is 0 for 4 tonight. Pretty healthy hack at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. So he's trying to get one more base runner aboard, bring the tying run to the plate. Goes from first, no throw, and it's 2-1. That'll be defensive indifference. Rutter is not being held on at first. Chopper left side. It's going to be a tough play. Sandoval's throw in time. Oh boy, I think they're going to hold everybody on this one. The defense is still hanging out around the mound. They're congratulating each other, but Ryan Sandberg's going to come out. Now the first base umpire, Chad Fairchild. Now because he requested a replay earlier and it was successful, he can request another one here. And it could be the feelings of the crew chief to review something like this to end the ball game. Watch the replay. Boy, again, that was close. Well, earlier the Phillies won one of these challenges. I think that one right there, I think he's out. Let's hope they see something that we don't see. Give me a thought here, Jamie, on this one. The ball is not there yet. The foot's not there yet. And
it's got to be in the glove, right?
Yeah, I think he's out.
I think it's a tie. How they see it is really what's going to matter.
Yeah. Buster Posey's starting to wander off the field. He's watching it on the big board here at Citizens Bank Park. So New York has this in their hands. They'll take a look at it. I think the last one was easier than this one. Phillies right now with 14 hits on the board. All 14 of their hits are singles, and let's see if there's another one added. He's out, and that's it for the ball game. Side is retired. The Giants take game 1 of this 4-game series by a final of 7-4. They erased a 4-3 deficit. They scored 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th. And Santiago Casilla, after that call stands, records the save for San Francisco. Big night for Hunter Pence offensively from the leadoff spot, and a big night for the bullpen. They took over for Ryan Vogelsong, who went just 3+ innings. No earned runs in 6 innings of work for the Giants bullpen. And Bruce Bochy's team remains in first place in the West, tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers. 7-4 the final score. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.